It was late at night before they realized it. It was really fun. Going up the hill was very confusing and frustrating, but going down was a completely different experience. She knew why, and it was all thanks to Fenrik. Although she found her emotional ups and downs noticeable, she couldn't do anything about it. After all, no one had ever shown her such kindness before, nor offered her such direct help. As they walked, Presepe suddenly lowered her gaze. She looked at Fenrik's hand, which was holding hers tightly. At first, it was a little uncomfortable. But now, that is no longer the case. Maybe she'd gotten used to it, or maybe her feelings for Fenrik had changed slightly. But one thing was certain, no matter the reason, holding Fenrik's hand like that no longer frightened her. Unlike all the other male characters you encounter in the game, in Fenrik you sense no ulterior motives or imminent danger. I felt safe. All she could feel from him was warmth. As she looked at their intertwined hands, Fenrik watched Presepe quietly. Unlike before, when she was trembling at the slightest touch, her demeanor changed. Fenrik found it rather endearing and, at the same time, amusing. You have no idea, he thought. How I wished I could kill every man who passes by and holds your hand in this way. How upset I was with myself for standing and watching. For this reason, I will not allow anyone else to reach you again. I want to draw my sword and finish them all off. But if you knew all this, what kind of expression would you make? Are you still going to hold my hand in this helpless way? As you do now? Fenrik's grip on Precipice's hand became a little tighter. Mrs. Yes, excuse me? You mentioned earlier that you wanted to make a wish like everyone else. Yes, I have a wish. A wish that I would really like to fulfill. Fenrik smiled softly. As I mentioned earlier, it's near the exit. We'll fulfill your wish there and then return to the palace afterward. It looks good. As Fenrik said, the place designated for offering flowers and granting wishes was near the exit. Perhaps because it was so late, or because the festival was coming to an end, there were only a few people left when Presepe arrived. Just as Fenrik had chosen a rose for her hair earlier. The altar for flowers was smaller and simpler than I expected. It was made of stone, and was simple and rough in appearance. Although they could not be compared to items used in a church, hundreds of flowers were placed on the altar. Are others left here with desperate desires? Will their wishes come true? Should I give you some privacy? Fenrik, who was watching her quietly, asked in a thoughtful tone. Of course I won't go far. No, it's okay, Presepe answered calmly, shaking her head, then approached the altar. She carefully placed the rose she had chosen on the altar, then joined her hands together in prayer. Help me never forget who I am. Help me come back not as Presepe, but as Juyeon. Let me be myself again. I will do my best, so please. Although she wasn't sure who to direct her prayers to, Presepe prayed with all her heart. Fenrik's crimson eyes reflected on her serene face, and she closed her eyes in earnest prayer. What do you hope to achieve? Won't you die again? To be freed from this never-ending cycle? To finally live freely? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I will fulfill her wish no matter what it takes. Sure. Meanwhile, Presepe slowly opened her eyes. She looked at the pile of flowers for a moment before turning her gaze to Fenrik. Thank you for waiting, our Grand Duke. Are you done? Yes. Thanks to you, I feel much better. Much better. That's good to hear. I'm glad I brought you here. But are you sure you don't want to change your wish? I feel like I've benefited a lot from this. Fenrik laughed. I already told you, didn't I? That was my wish. It's more than enough. Even though all the endless regressions had exhausted her mind to some extent, Presepe was still a person with a conscience. She still felt sorry, but with Fenrik's insistence, there wasn't much she could say. Okay, then let's do this. After a brief moment of thought, Presepe looked at Fenrik as if she had come up with a good idea and began to speak. Next time, when you need my help, feel free to let me know. Of course, I may receive much more help from you than I can give you. I have already received all the help I need. Pardon? But it was the truth. Even if she didn't remember any of it, a long time ago, Presepe had given him something that no one else could ever give him. This alone was more than enough. Anyway, we should go back now. Oh yeah, Hannah must be waiting. Let's go. Fenrik naturally took Precipice's hand again, and Presepe moved slightly as they began to walk together. Starting tomorrow, with Fenrik's permission, she will borrow maps from his office and try to retrieve her memories. Maybe she will find something connected to her past or a location connected to the real male hero. And if it was possible, she wanted to examine the broken statue she saw in the church. The fact that the regime tried to analyze and explain it meant that it was important. I'm so glad I came here. Her mood had improved, and despite some ups and downs, it had been a fun day. And the best part about it all is that she felt motivated to take action. And I learned more about Fenrik as a person. It was a really worthwhile day. This is correct. I will not sit idly by like I used to. I managed to get out of that stifling imperial palace. There's no reason why I can't find a real male hero. For the first time in a long time, Presepe made up her mind as she left the altar beside Fenrik. And she didn't notice it. There was someone quietly and secretly watching them as they walked away, just like on the hill earlier. Once Presepe and Fenrik were gone, only heavy silence remained above the rough altar. Cool night breezes carried sand across the area. Among the mountain of flowers, the rose that Presepe had placed as part of her wish fell to the ground without moving. As the rose rolled onto the sandy ground, a pale white hand reached out to it. A pathetic wish. Although he did not hear it directly, it was clear what Presepe wanted. From the moment she approached the altar, he knew. She wished to leave this game and return to her world. But did she really think this was possible? Did she think such a wish could come true? Did you dare? The large hand, with visible veins under her pale skin, was mercilessly crushing the rose she had picked. The delicate petals couldn't bear the pressure, so they crumbled and scattered like dust, while the thick thorns pierced the white fingers, causing crimson blood to drip to the ground like falling petals. But he didn't care about it. Instead of, "Your wish will never come true." With an ominous hum, he threw the ruined rose onto the ground like trash. "You'll never leave this game. Never." As he remembered Presepe's face, his eyes tightly closed in earnest prayer, Vidar let out a low, terrifying laugh.